In this video, we are going to talk about feature transformations and the golden rule. In the last video, we were only looking at the training scores after we applied imputation and scaling on our training data. But last week, we saw that cross-validation is a better way to get a realistic assessment of the model. So let's try cross-validation with our transform data. I'm creating our regressor object and then I'm passing it to cross-validate. I'm passing our preprocessed data here. So this X-train scaled is imputed and scaled. And here are our validation and train scores. The scores look fine. But do you see a problem here? I would like you to pause the video here and think about what's going on here. Before, we said that when we are using transformers, we should be calling fit on training data only and transform on the test data. So we should call fit transform or fit on the training data and only transform on the test data. Are we doing that here when we carry out cross-validation? We are not really doing that, right? We are passing this X-train scale to our cross-validate, which is already our pre-processed data. So inside our cross-validation, we are allowing information from the validation set to leak into the training step. We are not doing our transformations properly. If you want to do this properly, for each fold, you might have to do fit with each transformer on the training split and transform on the validation split. And you'll have to do that for each fold. You can imagine that with many different transformations and cross-validation, such kind of code can get unwieldy quite quickly. We are likely to make mistakes and leak information. So the question is, can we do this in a more elegant and organized way? And the answer is yes. Enter scikit-learn pipeline. Scikit-learn pipeline allows you to define a pipeline of transformers with a final estimator. What does that mean? So let's look at an example, a simple example of a pipeline. Now, first of all, if you want to use pipeline, you need to import it. You can import pipeline from sklearn.pipeline and you import this class pipeline. Here I'm creating a pipeline with 3 steps. My first step is simple imputer. My second step is standard scaler. And my third step is k-neighbors regressor. What's the syntax of a pipeline? When you define a pipeline, you need to pass a list of steps. Here I'm passing it 3 steps. Imputer, standard scaler, and my estimator, which is my regressor, k-neighbors regressor here. And these are just the names for each of my steps, so that we can refer to each step later on. In a pipeline, the last step should be a model, that is a classifier or a regressor. And all earlier steps, they should be transformers. In our case, these 2 steps are these 2 transformers, simple imputer and standard scaler, and our last step is our regressor. Now there is an alternative and more compact syntax to create pipelines. For that, I'm importing this make pipeline from sklearn.pipeline. In this syntax, we are not allowed to explicitly name our steps in the pipeline. So again, we have 3 steps in our pipeline. The first step is simple imputer, which is a transformer. Second step is a standard scaler, which is again a transformer. And the third step is k-neighbors regressor, which is our estimator. And we are not naming these steps here. In the previous syntax, we were explicitly providing these names to all these steps. In make pipeline syntax, we don't name them. Instead, the names of these steps are set to lowercase of their types automatically. For example, this standard scalar will be automatically named as this standard scalar in all lowercase. Okay, so if you want to refer to these steps later on, we can refer to them using lowercase of their types. So that's about make pipeline, and we will be mostly using this make pipeline syntax just because it's compact and easy to use. So I'm creating this pipeline. So this pipeline, I'm calling it pipe. Now let's fit our pipeline. Once you have created this pipeline, you can treat it as a scikit-learn model. So you can fit the pipeline. Now note that I'm passing xtrain and ytrain here. So I'm not passing our pre-processed xtrain. I'm passing the original xtrain here. And here are my pipeline steps. So my first step is imputer, second step is scalar, and third step is my regressor. When you call fit on a pipeline, it's actually carrying out many different steps. Okay, so it will fit simple imputer on xtrain. Then it will transform xtrain using this fit simple imputer to create some new data, xtrain imputer for instance. Then it will take this data, this transformed data, and it will fit standard scalar on this data. It will transform your data using this fit standard scalar to create some new data. And finally, it will fit the model, in our case k-neighbors model, on this xtrain imputed and scaled data. So when you call fit, all these things are happening under the hood. What happens when we call predict? Now again, notice that I'm passing xtrain here, our original xtrain, and not our pre-processed xtrain. When we call predict, a series of transformations are applied on this xtrain. And then finally, we use the transformed data for prediction. And for prediction, we use the fit model that we fit in our pipe.fit step. Okay, so again, when we are calling predict, a number of steps are happening under the hood. Here is a picture that demonstrates what I just said. Now, instead of regressor, we have a classifier here. So we have our first transformer, our second transformer, and a classifier. And we have a pipeline. When we call fit on the pipeline using x and y, what happens is that first we pass this x, and then we fit our first transformer using this x and y. We apply transformation, and then we get this x1. Then we apply our second transformer. We fit our transformer, we transform using that fit transformer, and we get x2. And once we have this x2, we can pass it to our estimator, which is a classifier in this particular picture. And we fit our classifier using this transformed data, and our y is not changing anywhere. And when we call predict, what happens is that we just call a series of transformations based on these fit transformers from our fit step. And then once we have transformed data, we can use this model for prediction now. And with this, we get our predictions. Let's try cross-validation with our pipeline. Now, as I said before, Once we have this pipeline object, we can treat it similar to other scikit-learn estimators. So we can call fit, score, predict on it. We can also carry out cross-validation with it. Here I'm passing it to this mean std cross-val scores function, which we wrote before. We are also passing xtrain and ytrain. And here are our results. So the first row shows our dummy regressor results. And the second row shows the results with imputation plus scaling plus k-nearest neighbors. And what do we see here? Our both validation and train scores, in case of imputation plus scaling plus knn, are much better than the baseline model, that is dummy regressor. So this is really tidy and convenient, right? We just define a sequence of transformations which we want to apply on our data, and the estimator we want to use to fit our model. Once we have the pipeline object, we can carry out cross-validation using our pipeline object. And now we do not have to worry about accidentally breaking the golden rule, because under the hood, it will take care of applying fit transform on the training portion and only transform on the validation portion in each fold. So that's a quick introduction of pipelines. We will be extensively using pipelines when building supervised machine learning models.